Hey folks, part two with John Lennon, and what we'll bring it back, Tomasio here, and we had just brought everyone up to date. Lennon opposes McCartney on Let It Be, then he eventually does his own Imagine, and ends up getting killed on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. John Lennon did. So, does that mean John's in hell? No, it doesn't. What it does mean, though, is that we should take a closer look here at what this means. So, John, as you know, chose Yoko Ono as his wife, and they had children. John was married to Yoko for a number of years, and they were very madly in love. And they celebrated childbirth, and they celebrated their love. And that's what they did. Dream number 9 is a theology of the body like you can't believe. Male, female, masculine, feminine, in love. Make love, not war. John took the whole concept of love, human love, relationship, man, woman, husband, wife, and he celebrated that. He celebrated it to the point where people persecuted him for choosing to focus on his wife and their marital love, and to take that to very, very profound levels. So John clearly made a decision, and it's interesting because if you read St. Paul's writings, he focused on marriage and married couples, and husbands give themselves all to their wives, wives give themselves all to their husbands, their body, Paul got into that. And then here John Lennon of the Beatles really took relationship, husband-wife relationship, to a whole new level, openly, beautifully. Beautiful Boy, he sang. It's such a moving song. If you have a child, a boy, you want to play that song. It's lovely. So John was able to go deep into humanity, into humanism, and human potential. And so that's what John did. Now, you may say he was a dreamer, right? But he's not the only one. And to this day, people will dream. Martin Luther King had a dream. So John was a dreamer. And it's important. It's important. But his career definitely took a different turn than Paul's took. Even though Paul also went with a married Linda, monogamous, you know what I mean? They were very, very, very good couple for 27 years, Paul and Linda. So you have John and Yoko. And John embraces, an Asian woman. And this was something that was clearly revolutionary in many peoples, many cultures, to see this type of white man and this Asian woman. And so, John wasn't afraid to test the limits on everything, including religion. So when he said that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus Christ, he was clearly saying that if you just make an observation, are the kids going to youth group or are they going to Beatles shows? So he was making an observation, but the world wasn't ready for that kind of observation, especially from him. So John's thinking was way, 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 way advanced, and people couldn't handle it, and he didn't seem to care. That's the thing. Although he did give interviews in which he did try to explain where he was coming from. But the people in America didn't accept it, So you add, more popular than Jesus Christ. Why would he even say that? Because he was a Protestant. I'm telling you, Protestants are obsessed with this type of thinking. And Not all Protestants, but some. If you're raised in a fundamentalist type home, uh, now, and I'm not saying that's good or bad, but what I'm saying is John and religion were definitely an interesting interesting topic. But I think beyond doctrine, if you could just put doctrine aside, because I think he was pretty much a doctrinal nightmare in a sense. If you're looking for like just pure doctrinal legal law type religion, not that you're not going to find it with John. John was about breaking free from the law. John was about really creating a new law of love in which everyone would accept each other and respect one another. Now, this is a lot easier said than done. And obviously, John wasn't able to get it done. But he was able to say it. So he got killed for saying it. And it's just so fascinating, the dates here. Now, it's tragic. I mean, I remember as a high school kid, man, I was sick. I loved John Lennon. I was sick when he died. I really was. And we loved John, man. We weren't worried about his views, his religious views, or anything. We just appreciated him, his music, and what he was doing. So he helped us out during high school years. So anyway, I want to get the record straight. John clearly chose his own path. He was a loyal Beatle for 10 years, and then he did his own thing. So, spiritually speaking, I believe that John, because of his Protestant upbringing and his reaction to Let It Be, I think John was very specifically inspired by the Apostle Paul, who wrote about love as the greatest gift. You can do this, that, but if you have love, you have nothing, And John was big on love. All you need is love. And then also the marriage, the theology of the body, the husband-wife relationship, and this masculine, feminine, no longer male or female. I mean, and they did that beautifully. Dream Number 9 is a classic video, honestly. So I would definitely check that out. I think there's a lot that John has to offer as far as human relationships, husband, wife, father, son. When my daughter got married, we picked a Beatles song, "A Day in the Life," for the father-daughter dance, and that was awesome. So John died on December 8th, and I think it might be appropriate if these protests continue and there's still unrest, is that we all gather on December 8th in New York at John's place where he died, field there, and see if we can't pull together a beautiful gesture of peace and love and reconciliation, welcoming everyone who is against the evil of racism and hatred and violence and force and censorship in the world, those who promote death and destruction and violence. So thank you, John Lennon, for your contribution, and your music lives on, my friend. You definitely were an inspiration to me and many, many other people. Your confusion about the Virgin Mary, you said you weren't raised Catholic, you never had the experience, so you're not alone in that, but hopefully now you understand that she's not an organized religion, but she is, our mother, our spiritual mother. And Carlos Santana, many people know that. So anyway, let it be, my friends, and imagine us getting out of this mess and doing something very, very special. Okay, peace.